Gross, Lewis, we're live.
I'm not doing it this time. Not going to happen.
I think I'm ready.
Oh, look at that tweet. Oh, wait, that's from last week.
You want a current tweet? We don't have funds for that.
Jeez.
We just reuse the same. We just keep retweeting the same tweet every week. Boom! And we're live. All right, you want that tweet action, Lewis?
So happy.
I mean, the image is not going to be current, I don't think, but
We run the same picture of us that we've run for the last week and a half.
no, come on.
I'm tired of that T-shirt. I do own different T-shirts.
You like this T-shirt?
Tired of seeing it.
You're you mean in the image?
Yeah,
I thought
always.
you were talking about the
Same
T-shirt I was
pictures.
wearing here. I was like, that's rude, man. You keep saying you're tired of seeing the T-shirt. I'm like, dude, I'm using it for the first time. I don't think I've ever featured this T-shirt.
That can't be true. Oh, there it is. It finally made it past the.
Oh, yeah,
blue
sorry. I
check
shoulda-
mark
Yeah, there we go. We
buffer.
got Christopher Gavin here who says, well, hello. God, sorry we're late. We've already done like a full hour podcast. Like, no joke. We just spent an hour talking about Airbnbs, real estate. We're
Can you put
Renaissance.
that tweet in the show notes? I don't want to sign into Twitter again.
I already did it, man. It's there.
Where is it?
It's at the very
You
top
said you're gonna
for
put
you.
it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
I put it in there just for you.
Disappeared.
We got
disappeared.
Jeff Druin in the chat. Is it just me and you guys? Yeah. Well, we kicked everyone else out. We wanted this to be romantic. We got a lot of Apple stories here to talk about here. We're going to jump into the show in just a sec. Randall Hyatt jumped in the chat that said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I just bought my first Apple TV. Your first Apple TV. Your first Apple TV. Go get the moderator in here to boot Randy Hyatt out of the chat, please. He's banned. He's banned.
Wow.
We got Barry Rose. Is Leander still part of Cult of Mac? I would ask I think the more appropriate question is Leander Caney still a part of the human race on Earth? Is he still alive?
The asker of this question obviously is not a subscriber to Cult of Mac Today newsletter, a vibrant, free daily newsletter, which every day has Leander's most cutting observations about current affairs in the Apple universe.
Yeah, or it's someone who's appropriated his byline. How do we know
That's
it's
not
really?
true.
How do we know it's really him? Lewis?
Slander.
Slander. We got Randall. Oh, I already said hi to Randall. We got Ryan Harshaw. Harry says, hey, what's up? All right. I think we got a quorum. We're good to jump in, which I think we should do that because we've already been going for an hour. It feels like the show should be
Running out of juice.
We got no juice left.
Gonna have to hit the juice.
You better squeeze because we need that juice right now, Lewis. We need some juice. All right. Let me go ahead and cue up Mrs. You Know Who. Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, Mrs. D, you're in a good mood. Oh, yes. And speaking of juice, I got some from LKD.
Might be a new low.
It's gross. Mrs. D, that is not what we came to hear. If you don't mind, I don't want to get booted off this platform, and it looks like Lewis just visibly retched. Let's go ahead and get going on the Apple news. Steve,
Let's start wearing a bib.
Steve from the chat liked that one, though. He was a fan. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
What could it be? You got your recording going, right?
yeah. Lewis, I always got my recording going.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
my secret. My recording's always going, Lewis.
I see. Well,
All right, well, we'll get this thing going. Let me get my notes up here just so I know what we're talking about. And we'll start the show in 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to Fullcast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airflow Elijah. Join me today. His office space is filled with many golden, gleaming darts championship trophies, most of which he stole from tournaments because his team was usually too hammered to win one for themselves. He's the managing editor of Cult of Mac. Lewis Wallace is here.
more slander. It's going to be a slander day, huh?
Also with us, he uses a VPN and bounces his signal off several satellites, so Lewis Wallace can't use his IP address to determine the location of his undisclosed broadcasting bunker. He's Cult of Mac's newest writer, almost said Lewis writer. Griffin Jones is here.
Good evening.
Smart guy.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm actually not Cult of Mac's newest writer. I think Rajesh started like 2 months after me.
You're joking. That
I
can't
didn't
be
want to
true.
correct you, but now I feel like it's been going on for too long.
That
But
can't be
Well-
true because I saw his byline way before you joined.
my first byline was Apple announces the Studio Display last March.
Yeah,
Really?
Rajesh is a boomerang. He worked first before. That's
Oh.
that's the difference.
Oh.
So wait,
Second stint.
so he's back. Rajesh is back.
It's like a Grover Cleveland situation, whether you consider him both presidents and like there's a president between him or not, I guess.
So wait a second. We got to solve this now. Is Griffin Jones our newest writer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected
Yes.
then.
You try to correct
I mean,
me, but you've been
yeah.
corrected. Tables have churned. All right. Well, I guess you were employed with Cultimac for a while before you joined the podcast. So maybe that's why I got that in my head, even though it turned out to be correct.
I'm saying is I was working for Cult of Mac, and then one day in the Slack we're like, hey, here everybody, here's Rajesh. He is now a writer. Well, I
Look,
was
all I'm
already.
saying, Griffin, is if you want to be a part of this big real estate deal me and Lewis have got going, you don't want to get cut out. Never correct me on the show ever again. Let's get this thing.
I'm trying to get out of real estate. So.
You are? Can I buy your place? I'm desperate to get in. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Yeah, sorry. We just spent an hour talking about our real estate aspirations and buying Airbnb. So Lewis has an Airbnb in an undisclosed location that it's his own personal coat cloth. He's just getting checks every week. I always brag about just getting checks from Coat Cloth, but Lewis was the original one who was just getting checks for doing absolutely zero work. So I'm just trying to emulate him. All right.
I think that's a mischaracterization of the situation, but I
Well, you are rolling in it, Lewis.
don't think it's
You told
zero
us the number.
work.
Yeah. What do you spend on it? Like 2-3 hours a week?
It's
pretty good.
I don't know.
Pretty good ROI, I would say.
I mean, it depends. That's what I was saying before. It's like you never know. If you operate an Airbnb, you might wake up and have nothing to do that day.
Yeah.
You might wake up and spend 4 hours trying to find somebody to clean out your septic tank. You just never know.
We need to cut this off now before we go for another hour
That's
talking
what
about
you do.
real
You
estate.
gotta stop. we can't do it. We gotta talk about Apple stuff now. We're gonna be talking about iPhone 15. It's incoming. Here's what to expect. We'll break everything down for you. Griffin's going to tell us about his iOS 17 public beta experience. Actually, I installed iOS 17. I also installed the beta of watchOS 10. I haven't been using them very long because I waited for the public beta. You've been using the developer beta, right? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that and our experiences with that. We've got an update on that 32-inch iMac that we talked about last week. That's incoming. We've got the return of Jony Ive. He's back making hardware. And we also have a really, I thought, fun and depressing update about one of his previous products, which if you got your hands on, if you got your hands on this product, you have a high-priced valuable, and you didn't even know it. And I'm kicking myself for not getting it because I wanted it, but it felt like something that was frivolous, and I was like, I don't need this. And now I find out that it's worth a ton of money, of course. And then we're going to wrap up with a all-new under review. This is a segment where we pitch our products that we're reviewing. I've got one I've got a great one from Anker, and they've been hounding me, Lewis, to do a review of this.
They've been hounding you, huh?
Hounding me. I was like, guys, it's queued up. You got to just give it some time. I got to use this thing for a while, and I actually really like it a lot. So I'm happy to talk about it. Before we dive in, let me go ahead and, oh no, see, I knew I was forgetting something. Let's see here. Let me go to, oh yeah, there it is. I gotta make sure I boot up the right URL. Is that working? Please God, let it work. Oh, good grief, it worked. I want to thank HelloFresh for supporting this episode. What is HelloFresh? Oh, wait a second. There we go. HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, and you can skip trips to the grocery store. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Take a bite out of summer, Lewis. Doesn't that just sound pleasant? Take a bite out of summer.
I hate to say it, but it sounds a little bit dangerous.
With HelloFresh.
Take a bite out of summer.
Well, you can with all the farm fresh ingredients delivered right to your door. From chef-crafted seasonal recipes to their new fresh and fit summer menu. That sounds like wait, isn't like a podcast or something? Fresh and Fit? I think it might be.
Undoubtedly.
HelloFresh, if it's not, that needs to be the name of our new fashion podcast, Lewis. We should talk about that after the show. HelloFresh brings flavors right to your door. When you need dinner fast, don't call for delivery. Think HelloFresh. Their fast and fresh recipes are ready in just 15 minutes or less. Plus, HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout, and they feature high-quality proteins, fresh produce, and plans for many lifestyles. It's no wonder why they're America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh sent me a bunch of different recipes. They were delicious. They were easy to make. And the thing that I liked about it the most is they send you everything, all the ingredients clearly labeled, and then they send you a beautiful color card that shows you exactly what you need to do. So it's as easy as it possibly could be. And the cool thing is if you've ever wanted to learn new recipes in different genres, you can easily do that because they'll send you recipes in genres that you've never cooked yourself. And so you're not only getting these delicious meals that are easy to make and fast, but they actually are teaching you how to actually cook in different styles, which I appreciate because I like to learn. I like to get out of my envelope, Lewis. You know what I mean? I don't want to just make tacos every night. Why are you giggling over there?
I've never heard types of food described as genres.
Genres of food? Yeah. There's a whole world of genres out there, Lewis.
Italy is my favorite genre.
See? Griffin has a favorite genre. It's Italy. I think you would describe that as Italian. Italian, Mexican, Thai, so many different genres. How would you classify them?
I thought it's, types of cuisine. Is genre? Is it genre?
Doesn't it just sound right? I think so.
No, it sounds wrong.
All right. Well, for those of you that agree that you like different genres of food, you'd like to experience them, go to HelloFresh.com/CultCast50 and use code CultCast50 for 50% off plus free shipping. That is HelloFresh.com/CultCast50 and use code CultCast50 for 50% off. It's 50% off. 50% off.
How many percentages off?
50. So you're going to get a bunch of great, delicious food for a really inexpensive price. So for that reason alone, I would give it a shot. HelloFresh.com/CultCast50. Use code CultCast50 when you're placing your order. Okay. Should we dive right in? I think I have the very first story. We're talking about iPhone 15. This is it. Everything that you need to know about iPhone 15. Of course, we've had the same design for 3 years now, and I'm ready for a new change. I'm on the iPhone 13 Pro, so I'm actually really excited about this model to finally get something different and to get better cameras because that's obviously always one of the best parts. And it's time for a change. A tipster says we can expect rounded edges in place of the current square ones for the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro models. Early renders show the iPhone 15 series will look much like its predecessors. Of course, it will have rounded edges, which feels nicer in the hand, I think. Of course, I keep my phone. I'm ahead of the game already, as per usual, because on my case, the corners are rounded. So I'm already living that rounded edge lifestyle. But
the dream, living the dream.
But you don't even use a case, right, Lewis?
Oh no, I have to use a case, man. Those edges are not sharp, but they become uncomfortable. You start holding the phone in your hand for a long period of time.
I thought you were going caseless for a while.
I have, but I ended up with I just got a stupid Apple silicone case now.
Oh, dude, that is
found them around the office.
That is truly an ugly case. I hate to say that to you.
I like the clear case. What I like for a really weird reason, it has it's the clear case with a little circle and line on it in white. Uh-huh. I really like it because it reminds me of a 5¼ inch floppy disk. It looks exactly like the little cutout.
Hold it up, Lewis. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, granted, I say that, but I use my phone caseless. But
you use your phone caseless. Wow, mm-hmm. That is dangerous.
I'm not sure I agree with the characterization of a completely new design and it's going to be rounded. It'll still have flat edges, to be clear. It's just the radius of the curvature will be a little bit bigger, so it won't be as sharp in your hand. It's not
slightly
less. It's not a return to like the iPhone 6s style, like complete bar of soap.
Yeah,
it'll still have like a flat
that
side.
Really was a comfortable phone, though.
Yeah, that was one of the most comfortable phones that I owned. But it's not about comfort, Lewis. It's about fashion.
It's about looks.
Yeah, it's about aesthetic. But like I said, I keep mine covered anyway because, I drop my phone all the time. I can't understand how people go nude on their phone. Haven't you dropped your phone, Griffin?
I mean, yeah, a few times, but it has the ceramic shield. It has the steel band all the way around it. I don't have any scratches on it. No, not really. I mean, they have a much stronger alloy of metal than they did with like my iPhone 5S. That thing, there was not a straight edge remaining on that phone by the time I was done with it. But their technology has gotten so much better. Like I don't have any cracks or anything.
Wow. So you're actually using the features that they promote for the new phones. I don't want to pay for a new phone. It's such a risky endeavor to use your phone with no case. I mean, you drop it on a piece of gravel or something, it hits the screen. Do you have Apple Care on your phone?
I don't think I do. I think I let that lapse.
Wow.
But the thing is, like, the phone is already so big. I don't want to put a case on it and make it even bigger. Like, I have the middle-sized phone, and it's already like at the upper limits of how much I can like do with one hand. Like, I want to be able to push the send button in iMessage with my left hand.
Sure.
So I got to reach all the way across the screen, like sort of halfway up, and it's already barely at that. If I put the clear case on it, I can't reach it with one hand anymore without like jiggling it around. And then, then I'm just increasing the risk that I'm going to drop it because I'm adjusting my grip as I'm holding it.
The Apple leather cases are really slim. So those are good options if you want to have minimal protection, but, not have your phone get bulky. I mean, again, I'm using the Rhino Shield Crash Guard case. It's my absolute favorite case, but does it add bulk to the phone? Yes, it definitely does. But it still lets you enjoy the design of your phone. But you can see, like, because the camera humps are so big now, they have to extend the case like really far back to make sure that the lenses are protected. And so you're left like this really annoying, it's probably a 1/4 inch gap, in the back of the case, which I don't really love. But this thing protects my phone so well that I have resided that I'm going to have to do something to get a case or to protect the phone because I drop my phone all the time, man. Like, it just feels like it jumps out of my hand. Like,
I mean, another big difference is that I'm on the iPhone 12 with the newer phones with the camera hump getting ever larger every single year. Like, it makes the phone really top heavy in your hand.
Yeah.
Mine is at least somewhat balanced.
Yeah. Well, just wait for that iPhone 15 action when you get that thing. You're going to be dropping your phone more, just like me, because it is so imbalanced. You're holding it, and then the whole thing just flops out of your hand because of that camera hump. Anyway, let me see here. What else do we have? Okay, so there will be 4 models, obviously. Nearly the same sizes as the iPhone 14s, but with slightly larger displays. Apple reportedly will shrink the screen bezels to allow it to release 2 basic versions with a 6.2 or 6.8-inch screen, and the 2 Pro versions will have the same display size options. This year's models will be the first with USB-C, obviously. Whoops, there we go. And there will be and I lost my place. Oh yeah, and then that will be the beginning of the end of Lightning for all the devices as Apple transitions away because of the new EU regulations. Other changes might include greater support for reverse wireless charging. The great reverse wireless charging rumor. We've been talking about that one for years. That's one of my top requested features. I would love to see that actually come to fruition so you could charge your AirPods or something off the back of the phone, which we know is possible because Apple enables this feature with their own battery pack. So the feature does work. They just don't let it work for AirPods, but they do let it work for their magnetic battery pack, which will charge if you plug your iPhone in while it's connected to the iPhone. So that is interesting. Whoops, there we go. Let's see, what else here? Wi-Fi 6E, which would be handy. There have been speculations about price increases, which I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see about that. I saw some other stories. I saw one analyst saying it's time for an iPhone price increase. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, man, but you don't know if Apple's actually going to do one. So I cut that story because I'm like, great, you feel like it's time. I feel like it's not time. I feel like it's time for a price decrease, in my opinion, but I don't think that's going to happen, obviously. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max will supposedly be powered by the new A17 chip with the new 3nm process, and the other regular iPhones will get the same A16 from the iPhone 14 Pro series. I'm not a big fan of reuse of this kind of technology, but this is happening all over the place. And it's not just in the phone ecosystem. It's happening in the camera ecosystem as well. Like, a lot of camera makers are reusing the same sensors in different cameras now. In fact, I just bought a camera that has the same sensor as my current camera does, but everything else about it is way better. It has a way better autofocus system. It has way better IBIS. It has a much better screen. So that there's all these things that are improved, but they reuse the same camera sensor. I'm talking about the Fujifilm XS20, and it has the same camera abilities as my Fujifilm X-T3, if you know anything about Fujifilm stuff. But I still ended up buying it because it's so much better in so many different ways, and Apple's going with the same strategy. And it seems like most people don't care. So there you go. Leaks point to the iPhone 15 Pro Max featuring a periscope lens. What's that, you say? Well, it bends incoming light before it reaches the sensor. This change would enable a more powerful telephoto lens without increasing the size of the handsense camera hump. Oh, praise God. That's the last thing that we need is a bigger camera hump. My goodness. I mean, it's already comically large. If they make this thing any larger, well, people will still buy it. What am I saying? But it's just going to annoy us even more. We're still going to buy it. Won't matter, but it's going to be annoying. Also, the USB-C port for the iPhone 15 Pro Max might support Thunderbolt for ultra-fast data transfers, which would make it easier to move video files on and off the phone. There you go. Did I miss anything? I think that's it. So, aside from a small redesign from the edges,
slightly rounded edges.
Slightly rounded edges. I like how we call this the redesigned iPhone 15. But, I mean, I guess it is, but it's only slightly redesigned. It's pretty similar to the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 13 and everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So there's your iPhone 15 update. I'm still going to get one. I'm still excited for one coming from the iPhone 13 Pro. Again, the camera thing is the major thing that I'm looking forward to. And then also, I'm not living on that dynamic island with you guys. Actually, what am I saying? Griffin's not living with that dynamic island either. He's not on the island. He's not near the shore. He's
very
off on the mainland.
island.
He's on the
That's
notch.
very dynamic and exclusive.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that change as well, even though it's probably pretty silly. I mean, have
It's
you noticed
fine.
any? How do you like the dynamic island, Lewis? Have you noticed?
It's useful
any?
for some things. I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
it's a pleasant little feature to have. I mean, it's not like I couldn't live without it. I'm of all these rumors, the thing that bums me out is the moving back to like the Pro Max having way better camera than the Pro. Because I honestly, like Griffin was saying, I mean the Pro, it's plenty large. I would like to have a smaller phone, but there's no way I'm going to a Pro Max. Last time I had one of those,
I'm thinking about it.
It's just comical. Talk about comical. That is a ridiculously large phone. I mean, unless you're like 6'5" and have hands the size of catcher's mitts. It's just.
I suffered through the iPhone 7 Plus for so many years, just so I could get the 2x camera lens. That was the first camera with the first phone with the split camera lens. I freaking hated that phone. I think it's the only
Really?
iPhone that I chucked in a box and never took out again. They're
just too.
I could be convinced to buy an iPhone 15 this year. This is a good time capsule of what we know in the midsummer, because there are two stages of rumors. The speculation of what the new phone will have before production starts, and then all the late stage rumors as more people see the phones and have to be looped in as to what it's all about. Then we get the good stuff and the last minute surprises. If this is really all that the iPhone 15 has, I probably won't buy one this year. If there are any more surprises, they actually end up doing the haptic buttons, or they have any other cool features up their sleeve that just haven't leaked yet, I could be convinced. I'm on the fence.
Sticking with the iPhone 12, huh? Holy moly. I mean, the camera gains that you would get alone, for me, would it be worth it coming from the iPhone 12? I mean, I'm coming from the 13, and I feel like I'm missing out big time on all the new camera improvements and stuff. But other than that, there's not going to be any really big marquee changes that we have seen so far. But the thing is now that we're getting closer to it, just like you said, is when we start getting all the actual accurate information. So I feel like what we have here is probably a very close representation of what we're actually going to get. There might be a few surprises as they dial things in and we start getting closer to when the phone is actually announced. Because we're 2 months away from them announcing a new iPhone. I mean, it's literally right around the corner. So I think they probably have everything dialed in thus far. All right, well, look, it's not going to just be a new phone. You're also going to have a new OS. If you haven't been using iOS 17, Apple just released the public beta, so you can install it now. And I really like the new process of installing betas. Like, you used to have to go install like the certificate and then restart your phone. And now you can just go into your settings and just switch to the OS that you want to install, and it will just let you install that phone, which I find really interesting. It's a lot easier. Griffin's been using iOS 17. I just started using iOS 17. Lewis, did you start using it?
Oh yeah. I think
we're all using
possibly day one.
I feel like Griffin's about to tell you not to install it, but what do you think, Griffin? How have you been liking it?
Yeah. So I have not very much been enjoying my experience on iOS 17.
I thought you were going to say that.
I run it for the benefit of all of our generous, beautiful listeners and readers who want to know about the new features and read my how-to articles. But of course, I only have the one phone that runs iOS 17, so I have to put it on my main phone to write about it. So you get all the great features that I've been covering about. You know, you can make a what do you call it? A contact poster for yourself that you can show off to all non-people in your life who are also running iOS 17.
Yeah, right.
You know, there are all those fancy AirDrop features that, you know, the three of us can't use because we don't see each other in a day-to-day life. But it comes at a big risk. I've had a lot of bugs. There's a quote here from Lewis Wallace. I don't know who that is.
Some no name
I think
guy.
the iOS beta is too buggy for anybody who depends on their iPhone. Lots of little problems, and sometimes you get to the point where you can't do anything. I won't be doing this again.
I don't believe that for a minute.
You took the words out of my mouth in like 2014, which is the last time I said I would ever be doing beta updates. I think that was like the year that OS 10 Yosemite came out, and I put it on my my MacBook Pro at that time, and I had so many problems with that. I swore off beta updates since then, but here I am. Now I have to run them again. So what kind of things can you expect? Well, normally when you're using the keyboard, typical function that I'm sure many people use every day, there's a little toolbar on the top of it with like the little button that says done. And if you tap the done button, then the keyboard goes away. Well, sometimes that toolbar just isn't there. So you can't dismiss the keyboard. So if you're in an app like Venmo and you're like trying to pay somebody, and you can't, the keyboard won't go away, and you can't actually pay somebody because like the button is hiding underneath the keyboard that you're currently showing that you can't dismiss. So that's fun. Inspired by a true story. This isn't like a critical feature, but I've just found this kind of comical. If you're using standby mode overnight, which is the feature where you put your iPhone on a charger horizontally, when I wake my phone up in the morning and I pick it up in my hand, I use the astronomy lock face or lock screen and wallpaper and all that, and it puts the planet in the wrong part of the screen. Normally it's dead center, and it sort of puts it off in the corner. It's like, where do you go? This happened just yesterday. I was rearranging icons on my home screen to, you know, write a story for an article. I was doing the little trick where you use two fingers to, like, you know, bunch up a bunch of icons together and like drop them on your home screen all at once. So I was like going in and out of the app library, and every time I picked up like 4 icons, Springboard immediately crashed. I tap on the icon, my phone screen just turns completely black, and then about 10 seconds later, it jumps me back to the lock screen and nothing happened. So that was really great. I'm, of course, running macOS Sonoma as well.
You went full canny.
I
would advise you against going full canny.
I also advise, please don't install macOS Sonoma, definitely, because I was looking for pictures to, you know, print out and frame and put on my wall, wedding pictures, and like my wife was like, yeah, I really like this picture, and I'm like, I don't see it. What's the exact file name? She reads me out the file name, and so I type it into a little search bar. Half of my wedding pictures are completely gone from my photo library.
Oh, whoops.
Now, luckily,
I have warned people
of that album.
I was about to go on a tangent. I won't.
Oh yeah, like I have a full backup of that particular album and a few other like essential parts of my photo library. You know, the kind of pictures that I'd be like devastated if I actually lost.
Yeah.
So I picked it off my external hard drive. And then I discovered later it wasn't actually gone, like deleted from my photo library. It was just hiding in a different album, and it like wasn't showing up in the regular photo stream. So
Huh.
I don't know what happened there, but I had a little scare there. The battery life is, of course, terrible.
Same here.
I've talked about this before. Like on the Apple Watch, I used to get like a full day and then a full night of doing sleep tracking, and then I'd wake up and I would still have like 12% or so. I mean, I'm at like 12% by like 9 o'clock every day. Lewis, how do you feel about the new autocorrect system?
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, that was actually the main reason that because they were talking it up like, oh, the new autocorrect is so much smarter and works so much better and blah 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 blah. And it's like, you know, I you know, you use that all the time, right? I use it for talking in Slack with people. I mean, since we're basically a Slack office, I use it for sending text messages to people, and it's the same old thing. You know, it fills in things that you don't want it to fill in. You know, I'm typing in my name, Lewis Wallace, Lewis, and I hit a space and I hit a W. What could possibly be the next word I'm going to type in? Yeah, iOS doesn't know. It can't figure it out. And the dictation stuff is still garbage. Still puts in a commas, you know, just willy-nilly puts commas in the middle of sentences and still does the change thing, thinks about it and thinks about it and thinks about it, changes it back and forth and ultimately chooses the wrong thing always. It's terrible. And I mean, that was the main feature I was excited about, because I've been in such a bad mood about this for so long, and I thought, man, if they actually made it better, that's gonna be worth it. But hasn't happened. I have, you know, my own list of problems. What's weird about this is all these
true.
problems are so random. Yeah, my phone, ever since doing this, my phone is almost constantly in driving mode. So I don't get any text message. Everything's just like silent for some reason. And you know, phone doesn't ring. I don't know if it.
Oh, that's been going on for me for the last 18 months, Lewis. My phone notifications just stopped working one day, and
but
sometimes they'll work.
Say you're,
and no, it
does it say you're in driving mode?
Sometimes it will tell other people that I'm in focus mode or something, which I'm not, and I just don't get text messages all the time. I practically have to go to marriage counseling to fix my relationship with my wife. She'll text me and I never see it.
Sorry, I just remembered another fun bug I had. I was opening the phone app, and like I tried to play a voicemail that I had just received. I tapped the voicemail tab on the phone app, and then nothing happens. And I madly tap around on the screen. The phone is completely unresponsive. So I quit the phone app, open it again. I do the same thing. I tap on the voicemail tab, nothing happens. My phone randomly reboots, and then all of my voicemails, my complete history of voicemails, are completely gone.
Wow, you're having a lot of issues.
And that could be like, I mean, geez, you could have like precious voicemails. I mean,
yeah,
some people save them. I've had, you know, my keyboard sometimes just doesn't appear. You know, it depends on that. To me, seems to be contingent upon what app I'm using. You know, like this app it works fine. This other app it like never works. This is a brand new one today. I was super excited about this. I pull out, you know, start doing a spotlight search, and you know, I start typing, and I type like the entire name of an app. No, it's not on my phone, so it says. You know, somehow I don't remember how I ended up finding it. One of my other favorite things is lately Safari will not, like, I type in a URL, it shows it that I've been to it a million times. I hit enter, no, reloads the current page. So it's like there's all these little things that just don't work at random times, and you know, it's fine. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, this is, you know, way more stable than passwords." Maybe it is. Like I said, first time I've ever done it. I am never going to put it on my iPhone. But what this has shown to me is how much I depend on my iPhone every day, and how, I mean, I knew I used it a lot, but I didn't realize how essential it is for so many things, and how unbelievably frustrating it is when it doesn't, you know, just work.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Using the beta, it's kind of amazing how many things Apple has to polish before they actually release this. It's not normal to see things running so poorly in the Apple ecosystem, and then you use a beta and you're like, wow, they do a lot of work before they actually release this. There's a lot of loose ends they have to tie up. Now, I haven't been having as many issues as both of you have had, but maybe it's because I haven't used the beta for as long as you have used it. I've actually been enjoying it. There's a lot of little things that they've sprinkled in that I really like, and then one of the main ones that I'll just highlight, there's a lot of cool features in iOS 17, which we don't have time to review right now, but one of the cool ones is the ability to add your pet's face in the Photos app, so it basically treats your pet as a new person that you can look at pictures of. And
that is cool.
My dog is 11 years old. I have a lifetime of photos of her, and there has been no way to easily look at photos of her without going through and manually looking at all the different photos to see where she is. And so last night I set up a face for her, and or maybe I did that this morning. I think I did that this morning. Yeah, I did, because you have to leave your phone charging for it to actually be able to go and scour through all your photos and recognize animal faces. So I did that, and then I created a face for her this morning, and now I can go through and look at all her faces, which has been pretty cool. And then the other thing that I realized when I started talking to Lewis and Griffin here is that you can create new lock screens with different astral bodies. Is that a way to put it? Like different worlds and stuff. Like there's the moon.
All planets in the solar system, not just the Earth and the moon anymore.
Yeah, right. It's really cool. And I didn't know that was a possibility. So as
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and those are all of the planets, and there are no more.
Yeah, there you go. So I've actually been enjoying the trial so far. But to your point, Griffin, there are a lot of features that I want to use that you can't use until other people are using iOS 17. So like creating the contact card, I don't think that works. If you create one and call anyone else, that's not going to do anything. I also am really excited to use my phone as a camera for FaceTime on my Apple TV. I don't know if that works, although I guess maybe I could get that working if I installed the Apple TV beta. But I follow my own advice. At least I try to. You never go full canny. I would never install a Mac OS beta, because I actually need my Mac. My phone, I don't mind if it quirks out every once in a while, but I can't have that for my Mac. Or you have like app issues where apps start behaving strangely. So I'll leave that off. But so far, my experience has been pretty good. The only thing I would say is battery life, always an issue with betas. I do want to highlight watchOS, because the watchOS beta is out now as well. And it is a big departure, I think, from the previous version of watchOS. And so far, I love every single change that they have made. So now when you press the digital crown, instead of getting that big, erratic group of icons, now the UI shrinks all the icons, or organizes the icons, I think is probably a better way to say it, so that they fit on the screen and you can scroll through them vertically, so all the icons will get scrolled up vertically, which I think from a UI perspective makes way more sense. They also repurposed the I don't know what this button is called, like
the side button.
Side button, is that what they call it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a side button on the other side, but I think that's the action button, at least on the Apple Watch Ultra.
Oh well, yeah.
I got an extra button.
What? There's a button on the other side.
I get a whole extra button, Lewis, which I actually hardly ever use and trigger accidentally all the time. But so the side button now loads it loads all the different widgets, which are similar to the way
you have that backwards. The side button opens Control Center. If you swipe up, then you get the widgets.
Wait a second. Say that again, because I'm putting on my Apple Watch. I want to look at this.
The side button opens Control Center, which is where you can, turn on or off, like Do Not Disturb, all that stuff. If you scroll up on the watch face, that used to bring up Control Center, but now it brings up your widgets.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so they switched it. Yeah,
that's gonna take some getting used to.
The muscle memory is pretty high.
Yeah, so now pressing the side button does what swiping up used to do, and now swiping up brings up a bunch of widgets, which are useful. Like you can set what widgets you want to have in there, and it will just show you little snippets of information based on whatever widgets you put in there, and you can like order them in whatever order you want. So I think that the new arrangement of icons and like the UI and the way they repurpose the buttons, I think this makes way more sense now than it used to. Although it does take a little bit getting used to, because whenever you change the purpose of what a button is used for, you have all that muscle memory, which has been around forever. It takes a while to actually retrain your brain. I'm having a lot of issues on the Apple Watch beta, though, just a heads up. Things not working, button presses not working, button presses or taps on the screen not working. And I do feel like I'm getting much worse battery life now. So no surprise there. But again, it is surprising how poorly things work sometimes in a beta, because you're just not used to that when you use like final versions of software, and they must spend a ton of time polishing stuff and making sure that all these little issues are resolved before they actually release the software.
And like we said in the iPhone segment, the official releases are only 2 months away. So if you don't want to deal with any of this crap, just wait another 2 months, and then you get all of these wonderful features. Like my wife has caught me doing like the crossword puzzles in Apple News that are a new thing, and she's really jealous of that. And she's like, when can I get that again? I tell her every time, oh, just mid-September. It's not that long, and then you'll have a whole backlog of crosswords to do. That's going to be her favorite feature, I can tell.
Yeah, you don't have that long to wait, and you won't have to deal with all these issues that everyone else is having. Plus, you can actually use all the features because other people will start installing iOS 17. I don't know, man. It's always fun. Like, I pretty much always install the iOS betas because you get the new features first. I've never really done an Apple Watch because there's never really been a point to, but I wanted to see what all the new features were. So I'm happy I did, because so far I really like I really like the changes that they've made. My goodness, we're taking forever to get through all these stories. So we should probably cruise through these last ones pretty fast so we can get into under review, because now we have been recording for 16 hours. Can you believe it? Doesn't feel like it's been that long, right, Lewis? So, Lewis. Oh, wait, sorry.
Still me.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a sec. Before we continue, Lewis, do we have a giveaway this week?
My God, you know what? I completely forgot to add that.
I thought I would ask you.
Pathetic. It's let me see now. I believe that we still have the same giveaway from last week. You got 3 days left right now. 3 days left. It's the Cookshoe X40 3-in-1 foldable magnetic wireless charger and stand. And this is that great thing that it's like I can never remember the name of the Apple one. The Apple Duo.
MagSafe Duo.
MagSafe Duo.
MagSafe Duo.
I got my
it's
Apple Watch on it right now, Lewis. Sitting right
like
here.
The MagSafe Duo, except it's 3. It's like a MagSafe Trio that costs like half the price and looks way cooler. And it can charge your iPhone, your Apple Watch, and your AirPods all at once. And it holds your phone up so you can actually like see it while it's charging, right? Yep. We've got, let me see. Oh, wow. 2,330 total entries right now. So I got to say, you do have a chance, but you don't have as good of a chance.
Slimmer than it was before, yeah.
Yeah, it's much slimmer. This is a very popular one. It's a great product. We've got a review coming, I believe. Am I correct with that? I believe it's actually been filed, and nobody's gotten around to looking at it.
I sent you that review last Tuesday, Lewis.
Oh.
Prime Day got in the way. Yeah, so these things, it comes in either matte black or gray stainless steel. It looks like an absolutely great travel charger. I think these things retail for $89.99 or something like that. We're giving away one, and this is the rare opportunity. I remember now the other thing different about this giveaway, international giveaway, right? Anybody can win this. Unfortunately, a lot of our giveaways have to be limited to people in the United States, sometimes Canada. This time, anybody, anywhere can win it. So get in there. Go to the homepage. Scroll down to where it says giveaway. Click on that. Go in there. You go on the giveaway page, and you'll find it very easy to enter. You can enter multiple times. It's very simple. As easy as signing up for our fantastic newsletters so that you can get whatever Leander's thinking about today. Or you can, a lot of times, just go visit our Facebook page or visit Cookshoe's Facebook page. I mean, there's all these different ways, right? It's different every time. So take a look. You do have a chance, although, you
got a chance.
Sorry. There's a lot of entries.
You got a chance, though. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm promising is you got a chance. And sometimes your chance is a lot better than you think it might be. So I'll post a link in the chat and in the show notes if you all want to go in there and try your chance with Lady Luck. See how it goes. All right, Griffin, look. We're running behind, so I'm going to just do this story real quick and just say the 32-inch iMac that we talked about last week is incoming, but it looks like it may not be out for a while. Gurman's saying 2024 at the earliest. So if you're excited about that, like I am, you should still be excited about it, but it's not going to be coming for a while, unfortunately. And
that's surprising.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping that it would be sooner because I think that's going to be a big hit. I'm surprised it's taking them this long. The 24-inch iMac is too small and has been too small since they introduced it.
Too small.
Way too small for me. For a guy like me, all the heavy lifting that I do, I'm sitting in front of like a 34-inch OLED widescreen monitor right now. That's the kind of power I need. Now,
I see.
Not everyone needs that kind of power. I think Lewis has got like a 17-inch monitor right there in front of him. It's a CRT, right, Lewis?
Don't kid yourself.
But there's your iMac news. I'm sorry to snipe that from you, but we got to get moving. Lewis, tell us about Jony Ive. We got 2 Jony Ive stories, and then we have to dive into the under review segment that I hope we're going to have time to do.
Yeah. So, Jony Ive left Apple. What was it? I guess like maybe last year or something. He
I don't know. It's been forever.
Firmly away. But I mean, he's been gone since 2019. And since then, he's done things like worked on the Airbnb website or something.
That's an active collaboration. Yeah.
Made a clown nose.
That's right.
Made a clown nose. That
you know
was
what?
exciting.
You just reminded me. I am so sorry. Somebody from the UK purchased some of those clown noses for us and offered to send them to us, and I completely
dropped the ball?
I dropped the ball. I am so sorry. I need to go scour my Twitter direct messages. And if that was you, if you're listening, I owe you a humble apology and maybe some money. So I will get back to you.
Need a clown nose on
nose.
now.
Now I need that clown nose more than ever. So I dropped the ball on that. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
He's like worked on fonts and worked on, I think he did like the official logo for the coronation of the new king of England. Or, all these like,
look at this guy, man.
Little things, right?
Look at what he's working on now. Logos, clown noses.
But this week, he's back working on hardware. And what is it? It's a $60,000 turntable. It's
beautiful.
The 50th anniversary version of the Lin Sondek LP12, and classic vintage turntable record player. And it says he apparently he did this. He and his firm Love From, they did this project for free, and he described it as a, quote, very gentle and modest project for us that was really motivated by our love and respect for Lin, which that's a great quote. But then
I bet the story behind that is Jony Ive has one of these and he keeps getting annoyed every time he looks at his record player. He's like, I would change that and I would change that. And he just like offered to do it for free for them so they could make the record player that he wants into the world.
Like one of the things was like apparently it had a plastic switch and he replaced it with a metal switch, probably aluminum. So Fast Company had an interview with him, and they were talking about, a constraint of, like how the turntable's architecture could not be changed lest it's careful audio design stuff. Or when he mentioned, and the writer says, when I mentioned this design constraint to Ive, a most certain lover of words, he politely corrects my language. I love this quote because it reminded me of those Jony Ive voiceovers, right, from the past. And he says, Jony Ive said, I wish I could do a Jony Ive accent. God, it would be great if I could. He said, I'm not sure constraint is the right word. The boundaries you work within that are defined by the audio performance of the product are, of course, and quite rightly, non-negotiable. It would be sacrilegious to disrespect those boundaries. And I think it would be such a pity too. What really characterized our approach and what I think defined our contribution was just a sense of deference for what is, without doubt, an icon in this product category. But that being said, we saw a number of areas where there could be small improvements and gentle evolutions of the current design.
God, Jony Ive.
That guy is he's a wordy son of a gun.
He's smooth. Well, look, I'm showing. I don't know how old this original Lin Sondek record player is. But it looks like it was designed, by an Englishman in the 1800s. It's got like a wood panel around the sides. And then you go up to the Jony Ive version, and it looks like Apple Park, man. It's like beautiful and futuristic and space aged. So maybe he wasn't able to change the components themselves, but he definitely changed the look of the aesthetic of the actual device, and it looks absolutely beautiful now. It looks like something that you would have in the future. Like 500 years from now, this is what record players will look like. It looks absolutely beautiful.
And only $60,000.
Yeah. See?
I wonder if they're sending out review units.
Yeah, you should check.
I think they said something about like they had used some kind of special lamination process for the wood or something. So yeah, I can't even.
They redesigned the hinges too, so that they open more gently and smoothly.
I mean,
maybe actually that wood lamination thing was the original one, but yeah,
yeah, there's probably been some models since then, huh?
I think they said that the main changes were that the button that changed from plastic to I guess that's that little button on the left, right? And the wooden one, they changed it to a circular metal one on the new one. And yeah, they changed the hinges so that it like rises up and stops. And so I don't know.
And of course they changed the radius of some of the rounded corners because of course
they definitely chamfered the edges. You know what's funny though? I bet you anything, you spend $60,000 on this, it's going to be worth more than that someday. I mean, and this next story, I think, talk about a segue. This next story is only proof of that, Lewis. Because he's not designing very much anymore.
Right. So maybe you remember this little book called Designed by Apple in California. Do you recall this?
Of course, yeah. This we talked about.
Came out in 2016.
Yeah, we talked about this a bunch when it came out. Didn't they send Leander one for free?
I think maybe he bought it. I don't know that he.
I know he has one, and I thought maybe they sent him one, but maybe he did.
It's a big giant book, like beautifully made. It even had like special, ink. They created special ink.
Of course, it was a Jony Ive creation.
Process
Everything about it was
silver coated edges. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. And giant coffee table book, 300 pages. It showed every product that had been designed by Apple during Jony Ive's tenure there at the company, and it sold for $299, which was a little rich for my blood.
That was for the large one.
Yeah, and then there was a smaller version that cost $199. Well, if like most people you didn't buy one, you're going to be sad to realize that you should have, because it would have been a good investment. Because now they're selling on eBay between $850 and $1,200. Most going between $900 and $1,000.
Well, that's for the small one.
That's for the little version. The little version. The big one is going between $1,250 and $2,600. So that would be a pretty good return on your investment.
That's a darn good return on your investment. This is what I'm saying, Lewis. Forget the Airbnb money. What you need to do is buy a couple of those record players. Don't open them, and just leave them sitting there for like 3. Don't open them. Leave them sitting there for 3 years, and hawk them on eBay.
They're only making like 250 or something of those things.
Oh, really? See, what I didn't know about this book is that I don't even know if they announced this. Was that it was limited edition? I had no idea.
No. The turntable, 250. This book. I mean, I don't know how many of these they made. I mean, it was definitely a fair amount, right? I mean, I don't think they were like constrained.
The books?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that they would be something that would be on sale forever, or at least far into the foreseeable future, but they sold them for a while, and I remember us talking about this, and they pulled them off the store, and I was surprised. I was surprised that they had done that so soon after they had released it, but maybe it was always meant to be a limited run.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm Tim Cook doesn't like things sitting around in the warehouse. I get the feeling like if there's any I don't
even know if they have a warehouse.
It's like the original HomePods. They manufactured as many as they manufactured in that one production run, and then they sold through their entire inventory. And then it just pulls off the store when they sell the last one.
God, it's so sad.
Original HomePod.
Well, if you got one of these books, congratulations. Hold on to it, and if you haven't opened it yet, don't, because I bet you this thing's going to be worth $5,000 in the not so distant future. Which
wow,
if only I'd known, man. Yeah,
you had a stack of those still wrapped up, unopened. Oh man,
I have this kind of conversation with my friend all the time. So like one of the ways I put myself through college was selling like out of print.
Don't say it on the air.
Well, you can't do it anymore. Okay. But out of print video games. So I would sell like old school Super Nintendo games, Nintendo 64 games, and back in that time period, you could still find some of them brand new. Like, I remember that there was this one game called Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I got like a whole box of them for, I don't even know, some low price, and they were all brand new, still in the shrink wrap. Well, if you had that game now, still in the shrink wrap, it's probably worth hundreds of dollars. Some of the games I had back then, I might have sold for, $50, $60, $70. Now they're worth like $900, $1,200. Some of them, just the box alone sells for $500.
That is crazy.
And so my friend, he still does this. He has an eBay business, and he still sells video games occasionally. So every once in a while, he'll send me a text, and it's like a picture of a game that he sold that we used to sell when we were in college, and he just got like $800 for it, and it's something that we used to sell for like $20. So some of these things, that's the thing, you just don't know. But we daydream all the time. It's like, man, maybe if I had saved that box of Conker's Bad Fur Day, and just saved it, somewhere in a warehouse, maybe there's a box still sitting there with brand new Conkers, and you could sell it for like $5,000. But
for every one of those, there's like the things that you think are going to be valuable, and then like in 20 years, it's like 8 cents.
Yeah, that's most of the stuff that I own. Is that stuff. And anyone who ever bought a baseball card, who spent thousands of dollars on baseball cards or any collectible cards, and now you're entire, you'll have like one card that's like the breakout hit, right? Or two cards that are worth like $300-$400, and everything else is just like fire kindling. All right, let's see. Before we move on to under review, I do want to mention just real quick, if you haven't got yourself a coat cloth, maybe you're thinking about buying one of these $60,000 record players, and you want a way to keep it sparkling clean because you're actually going to use it. There's no better way to keep it clean than coat cloth. In fact, I was going to read you a testimonial that I recently got in. Oh man, this is from Otto. I'm gonna pronounce this ooh la la. From Otto Ula. He tweeted me. He said, "Hey, Airfun, coat cloth is the best microfiber cloth I've ever purchased. Better for sunglasses than dedicated eyewear cleaning cloths. I recycled the sticker and put it on my water bottle, so expect a bump in sales soon." I want to thank Otto for putting that sticker on his water bottle, because indeed, I saw at least a 0.05% increase in sales, and I attribute it to you promoting us. But if you have not gotten yourself coat cloth yet, and you want a way to keep your premium technology, your glasses, your record players, your $60,000 record players sparkling clean, there is nothing that does it better than coat cloth. Even now, I always say when I use them, I am surprised at how well they work. There is just nothing else out there like it. And if you go to coatcloth.co, you can order yourself some. You'll be supporting the show, supporting me, which I appreciate. And if you use code CULTCAST at checkout, you'll get 2, not 1, but 2 free carry cloths with any order, $20 plus. And I guarantee you'll be happy with them. If not, you can return them. You can just return them. We'll happily take them back. But I think in like the 7 or 8 years that I've been selling coat cloth, and this is 100% true, I think I've gotten 2 returns in that entire time. No one ever returns them, because they just work that well. There's nothing else out there that I've seen that works as well or is as premium grade as these are, which is why I sell them. Coatcloth.co, and make sure to use code CULTCAST at checkout. You could try code CULTCAT. I don't think that works, but you could give it a try. Let's see here. Will Leander's book be more valuable? Mark T's asking in the chat. Well, considering that Leander uses most of his books to steady wobbly tables, I'm gonna guess no. But give it time. If you give it enough time, everything becomes valuable. Am I right? Even like the old pottery from like 300 years ago. Dig it up.
True.
Now it's priceless artifact. So I think the answer to that is yes. All right, let's move into the last segment of the show. We've been broadcasting now for 17.8 hours. But I think we got a little bit more steam left in us. We're going to do an all-new under review. This is where we pitch the products that we have been using and talk about what we like, what we don't like. Would anyone like to go first?
I will.
Yes. Take it away, Griffin. What do you got for us?
This is a product that all of our listeners have already heard about without even realizing.
Oh.
Because for under review, I'm going to tell you about the very microphone you are hearing my voice from, the Rode NT USB Plus.
Oh, okay.
This is a refreshed version of their classic NT USB microphone. The NT USB Plus came out late last year. which is how embarrassingly long I've gone without actually writing my review of it. I'm sorry to
no
all of the fine
judgment here.
folks at
No
Rode.
judgment here. I know exactly how that goes.
So it's been up. It has a USB-C port built into it and a very long USB-C cable that you can route all the way down your microphone boom arm, all the way down. If you have like a computer on the floor and you have like a standing desk, it'll probably even reach that far. Of course, you can also use USB-C to USB-A cable, which is what I did when I was on my now retired MacBook Pro. What makes it great is that it's incredibly easy to use. You don't need any extra hardware. You just plug it in. It has a built-in preamp that equalizes my voice. So if I talk to you really loud or really quiet, like it kind of balances out all those levels.
Wait, Griffin, sorry, real fast. What was the model called again?
The NT. Oh, I'll put a link in our show notes.
Yeah.
This is the NT USB Plus.
NT USB Plus. I just want to make sure that I get this for the show notes, and plus I'm gonna showcase it here while we're looking at it.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, go for it.
It comes with the pop filter that is on it. Comes in the box with the microphone as well. So when I say the word pop, you don't hear that like plosive, and it doesn't bottom out or like max out my audio thing. I don't even have to think about how I do my plosives like that because it just handles them so beautifully. Well,
hard to keep track of how you're doing your plosives live during a podcast. I can vouch for that.
Like most studio microphones, it has a headphone jack right on it. So I actually use the microphone as the output for my computer, so that I can plug my headphones into the microphone, and that way I can hear myself as I'm speaking through my headphones with no delay whatsoever. And I have a little dial where I can turn that up or turn that down. There's another dial where you set the overall volume from your computer that's completely independent. The one downside, there's no mute button on the microphone.
That would be handy. Although
I can mute myself on Skype, and that would, mute myself over the YouTube live stream. But of course, we have like 3 different recordings going. I'd have to like separately mute myself on Cast, and I don't want to risk touching anything in Logic because I don't want to destroy our entire system.
Yeah.
If I only had a mute button on the microphone, then I could just tap that and mute everything at once. If I ever need to, I don't know, sneeze on the podcast, but I never sneeze. Sneezing is not normal.
I got some sneezes for you. If you want to hear a real dad sneeze live during the broadcast, let me know in the chat.
So yeah, that's the microphone. It's a pretty affordable price as far as like studio microphones go. It's not terribly expensive. That's not great. Yeah, and you don't need anything else. You don't need USB Pre 2 or anything like that. You don't need a mixer or anything. If you're just doing basic audio work like I am.
And one thing I would add is, have you tried their Rode Central app? Have you played around with that at all?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah, Rode has a series of apps that connect to their products now that allow you to like route your audio in different ways and do a number of different things depending on which product you connect to them. I use the Rodecaster Pro 2 to broadcast my mic and also to route some of the audio for the podcast. So I interact with that app a lot, and they're building out a whole line of new gaming audio products as well. Like I think they call it Rode X as their new like gaming brand, which I'm happy to see them do because they kind of got into it a little late. I'm happy they're finally there because their company's perfect for products like that, and all their stuff is super high quality. I've been using Rode stuff for years, but they
sent me 2 of those microphones as well. The first 2 Rode X microphones. So those might be the next products I do the next time we do this segment. I also want to give a quick shout out to the headphones that match it. These are the Rode NTH 100 or no NHT 100 headphones. There's nothing like terribly special about them. They're like wired headphones. They don't have noise canceling. They're not Bluetooth. They're priced at $150, which is like a standard price for like nice headphones that aren't like top of the line audiophile headphones. But like honestly, if you're an ordinary person with ordinary human ears who listens to ordinary music, you don't need like studio quality headphones. These headphones are more than good enough for like anything that you would normally want to listen to. What sets them apart for me though is that they are extremely comfortable. They have like these really thick ear cups on the side.
Look cushy.
You can't see the head strap because my enormous hair is in the way, but it's got a really thick head strap as well. They're coated in like the soft touch Alcantara.
Oh,
which is really nice.
It's the same material they put in like BMWs.
Yeah. Like I can wear these headphones all day, whereas like if I put on like wireless Beats headphones for more than 30 minutes, my ears hurt.
Yeah.
even if you have giant chunky glasses like I do as well. I really recommend these headphones, even though they're not the best headphones in the world, but most people don't need the best headphones
But
in
they're
the world.
meant for
Most people want
mixing,
to be
right?
able to.
I mean, they're
Most
not
people
meant for
want to
like,
be able to wear headphones.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, I
Your
interrupted
question.
you. That was so rude of me. Yeah, I agree with you. Like for this type of thing, the headphones, I would argue they need to sound good, obviously, but like the comfort level is probably one of the most important things because that's what you're using them for. You're wearing them for a long period of time. And if they hurt your ears, then you start getting ear fatigue. No one wants ear fatigue. Many people probably didn't even know there was such a thing as ear fatigue. How can your ears get fatigued? They don't even do anything. They just sit there. But if you place something over them, in fact, I'm using some popular Sony recording headphones right now, and my problem is that they're not big enough for my ears. So they press into the back of my ears, and my ears are actually at this very moment they're sore. So I'm envious.
You should actually check this out because the ear cups are also very very large as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to Rode and be like, hey. I feel bad. They always send me so much stuff, and I don't feel like I have enough time to cover everything that they always send me. I will definitely be covering the Rodecaster Pro 2 at some point in the near future because I've been using it for a little while, and now I feel like it does so much stuff, man. It's like I was telling Lewis, I'm like, the Rodecaster Pro 2 is one of the most unbelievable upgrades over a first version product that I've ever seen. It's so much better in so many different ways than the first Rodecaster that there was actually a learning curve for me to even figure out everything that it does because it's a completely new and 1,000% better product. And it's an awesome product. Like I love using it so far. But
they offered
anyway,
me one of those, and it's like one of the few reviews that I turned down because like I would have no idea how to write this thing. I don't know how to use this thing to its capacity.
The
I can't do
Rodecaster?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
think that they offered me like the Rode X version of it that they just introduced. I was like,
oh, that would have
I'm
been
just turning
cool.
it down. Yeah.
I mean, having a mixture is always useful for a variety of things. But yeah,
It would just give me more things to do wrong before we go live.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that you turned them down then, because we definitely don't need that happening. Sorry, was there anything else that you're going to say? I just feel like I've been interrupting you nonstop. I'm just going to sit here and say nothing.
I know that's pretty much it.
Are you sure?
They are thumbs up.
Thumbs up. All right, Lewis, what do you got for us?
All right, I got the. This is one of those descriptive names. It's called the Leather AirTag Travel Wallet.
Oh man!
By Geometric Goods. I should drop a link in the
definitely do
Slack, huh?
Yeah.
There's the link in the Slack.
What did you call it again? The leather
it's
what?
It's called the Leather AirTag Travel Wallet.
By who?
By Geometric Goods. This is a company I hadn't heard about. They contacted us. They're based, of all places, they're based in Krakow, Poland.
Really?
Yeah. And so they make these really, they're really nice leather goods, right? I can show it to you here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm looking at their website too.
Yeah. So this thing is it's kind of large. That's the one thing.
It appears to be a bifold wallet, if I have that correct, or is it just a single fold?
That is a meaty boy.
I mean, the word wallet is. I would not. You're not going to be using this as a wallet, right? You use this. What this is going to be is what you put all your credit cards and your backup cash and your passport, all the stuff that you got to take when you're traveling that you don't want to carry around with you because if you lose it, if you get pickpocketed or something, you're going to be completely screwed. It's got a place right here. If you can see that, it's actually held in place by a brass screw. You unscrew that and you put a little AirPod in there. I mean, nobody looking at this would go, "Oh, there's an AirPod in this, AirTag in this." So it's pretty discreet in that way. The thing is about it, like I can fit it in my back pocket of my jeans. It fits there, but it sticks out, right? So you definitely would not be like carrying this around. This is the thing that you put your stuff in and you put it in your bag or the hotel room safe, or stash it somewhere in the Airbnb, which by the way, you stash it in the Airbnb and then you wake up 3 days later and you're like, oh, we got to leave it. Where did I put it? Right. Well, the good thing is you got an AirTag in it and you can just search it out. Right. Very handy. I don't know if you guys are AirTag fans. I love AirTags.
I do too. Yeah. The hard part is figuring out how to integrate them into the things that you want to track.
Yeah. Well, this is a good one, man. I mean, I've had my wife like, she's getting ready to leave to go there, and she's like, "Where's my passport?" I'm like, "You've got to get a passport holder with an AirTag, because I mean, when you're freaking out, you can't remember where you left your passport. That is one of the most scary. They're not scary, but it's
I mean, I would argue it is scary
It's
because
nerve
you're in a
wracking,
panic. Yeah.
But so then when you get overseas, like, okay, let's say you're traveling and sometimes you go to a hotel or an Airbnb in a country and like, oh, well, we need to, see your passport and, we'll copy the information down. We'll get it back to you. Well, you know what you don't want to do? Forget to get your passport back. Now, I don't know that you would necessarily want to give them this thing, like, because this has room for 11 credit cards, and holds a bunch of cash, if you actually have cash, euros, British pounds, whatever. It's made of, as always, premium vegetable tanned Italian leather. It's always vegetable tanned Italian leather. It feels good. Smells like
I can just tell from that sniff that it just filled your nostrils with the rich scent of leather.
It smells like when you got a new baseball glove. Remember that?
I never did, but yeah.
It's kind of, the one thing I don't like about it is how bulky it is. I mean, when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, that is kind of thick and bulky.
So to clarify, does it fit in a front pocket as well?
I mean, yeah, you could put it in there. Yeah, it fits completely in my Levi's front pocket. But, I look like I'm smuggling something or something. Not a good look. You can fit it inside a jacket pocket or whatever. I haven't actually gone out of the country with my passport since I got this review unit, but I would just toss this in my my laptop bag or my whatever carry-on bag I have, and I think it's a nice central place with this stuff. It seems really well made. The stitching's really nice. It's thick. I mean, that's the one thing I think that people would be like, well, maybe I don't want something quite that bulky. I mean, you can buy like much thinner AirTag cases for your passport, but they're not this nice. I mean, I actually bought my wife one after that last freak out. I'm like, this can't happen again. But I bought that one, and it has like a weird, like, the AirTag fits into the strap, and I don't know, man. It looks to me like it could possibly fall apart. But on the other hand, you're traveling with a passport how many times a year? I don't do it that much. Not as much as I'd like, but I think this is going to be great for, going to Italy for a month and always knowing where my backup cash and everything is. Because when I go out of I never carry my passport when I leave the Airbnb. I carry the minimum amount of cash. I maybe carry one credit card. Or even just my phone. I mean, actually, you kind of have to take credit card because sometimes they don't take Apple Pay, but increasingly they do. I don't want to carry that stuff around with me. I don't want to, leave it in a bag. One time I left a bag at a restaurant in Croatia, and it's like my passport's in that bag, and I was like, wow, we were walking around and suddenly it's like, oh my God, where's my bag? I
had that same thing happen to me in Italy.
Oh man, I mean that is a freak out right there when that happens. And thank God the people that ran the restaurant are super nice. And they're like, oh yeah, here, thank you very much. Here's your bag and whatever. But like in that moment, if I'd had an AirTag on my passport and with my wallet, I would have been so much more at ease.
Yeah, just knowing where it is makes you feel a lot better.
So I have I have AirTags in every bag that I own. This is another thing I wanted to mention. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Momax. This is a company that they've actually been advertising with us a lot. They bought several sponsored posts from us. They make a whole bunch of Apple-related gear, and they make again with the name. It's called Momax Tracker Tag. What do you guess it is? What do you guess it does? Who do you think makes it? It's but they're basically AirTag clones. I keep saying AirTag clones, same size. They come in 3 colors, which is different. They're black, white, and the bestseller at Prime Day, yellow. And these things, you can get them for, what do AirTags cost? $29 a pop. If you're lucky, you can get a 4-pack for like $85 at the very least. These things go for I think $19 or $20. And if you find them on sale, like on Prime Day, they run on sale for $16. And they always make it so that you can like stack coupons, right? Like if you buy 2 Momax products, you save an additional 5 or 7% or something. So, and those things work just like AirTags. The only real difference I've seen is the color. I mean, they're slightly different they're not. They don't look exactly like an AirTag. They look kind of. Actually, I think they look kind of cooler because they've got like kind of weird shaped. I don't have one on me right here.
I've seen the pictures. They look kind of like what the Apple Watch Ultra does compared to the normal Apple Watch. You know, it's got ridges. It looks more ruggedized.
Yeah, they look more kind of. This just kind of look cooler. I don't know. They look less sanitized Apple white, whatever. But the only other difference is like the sound they make is different from what the sound that an AirTag makes, which who cares, right? So I've bought several of those just because I can't have enough things tagged. I put one in my truck. Just dropped it in the glove box. If somebody, I do live in San Francisco, right? Somebody steals my truck, now I at least know where they are until they figure out that they're, being tracked. So
it sounds to me like the wallet would be a good companion for that wallet would be the iPhone Find My Wallet. So you have like, your big wallet that you stick all your cards in when you're traveling, and you got your cash and your passport and all that. And then you have like your Apple MagSafe wallet that you can carry like, your 2 or 3 essential cards when you actually leave the house
exactly.
and go out.
I've used
your
like
big and your small.
Yeah, I've used like one of the iPhone cases that has the not an Apple one, but another one that has like just slots for cards, and it's perfect. So you only have to take one card. Maybe you probably have like some kind of public transit card you might have. That's what I like to do. Travel light when you go out of your hotel room or your Airbnb or whatever. And this thing, I don't know. It gives me some joy just smelling the leather. It buttons, snaps together.
Lewis is a simple man. I just need some joy from smelling the leather. Yeah.
Do they snap magnetically, or do you have to click them in together?
They click together. It's not magnetic, the snaps. This thing is, everything about this kind of screams old world, right? This is like a sturdy leather wallet. This is like something that, 20 years from now, it's only going to look better. It's not going to be like fraying or, thinned out or anything, right? It's going to have a nice patina. Yeah, definitely. It's family heirloom is what this is. I should mention the price, which is a little steep, $137.90 USD. This thing comes in, I think, what is this, like 8 or 10 different colors, several shades of brown, as you might guess, black, red, green, yellow. I think I mentioned it holds 11 cards.
Yeah.
Oh, also holds Hong Kong and Taiwan dollars and a Japanese yen. So in case that's
you can hold literally any dollar type. It
holds any kind of money, right?
Anything that's paper, actually. It doesn't even have to be real money. You could just draw money on a piece of paper, like your own currency, and just carry it in there.
And just jam it full of bar receipts, anything. It's one thing that's kind of interesting about it. It's got a little slot for a credit card. I just thought this was a kind of an amusing little thing because of this one side, the credit card goes all the way in, right? So you pull this little thing and it
kind of pops out,
jacks it out for you. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, wow, it's almost like a pop-up book. I was kind of surprised. I was looking at it. I was like, what in the world is that? And then I stuck my card in, like, that's how you get your card out of there.
Secret pop-out.
Very simple.
Okay, Lewis, I got to cut you off because I'm running out of time to do my segment here.
How much longer can I talk about a leather?
I don't know, but I was wondering that same thing about 10 minutes ago. It's called the Leather AirTag Wallet from Geometric Goods. And we'll, of course, put links to the show notes for all this stuff. Okay, I have to... it's finally time. Anker, our dear friends at Anker, they sent me this speaker a while ago. And actually, they asked if they could sponsor my channel, my YouTube channel. And I was like, I don't really do sponsor stuff on my channel right now. Like, just send me your speaker, and if I like it, I'll talk about it. Well, they did. They sent it to me. And I'm not going to say that I love it, because I haven't used it long enough to determine that. And longevity and performance over time is part of something that goes into love. But I do like it very much. It is the Anker, the Soundcore, which is an Anker brand. The Soundcore Motion X600. And if I had to describe this thing, it is a very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing portable speaker that sounds dang good. And one of the things that makes this speaker unique is, well, first of all, it's aesthetic. Like a lot of like the portable speakers that you see, they have a very specific look to them. They all look like they're covered in carpet to me. And they've got like, neon buttons and that type of thing. And this is more of a refined aesthetic, and I would say that this is more of like the aesthetic that I actually like. It looks like something that Apple would have made. It's very beautiful. Yeah. The outside is like full metal. It's got a great handle, feels good. It is fully waterproof. You can actually submerge this thing in up to 3 feet of water. So I think it's IPX7 rated, so very waterproof. Wow. It's super easy to connect, and the secret sauce is it has what do they call it?
Spatial audio.
Spatial audio. Thank you. It has spatial audio. In fact, it has a button that you can use to activate spatial audio. And can you see that button?
Does a warning light come on?
It blinks 5 times, and you have to press it again just to confirm that you're ready for the spatial audio to begin. And it makes a huge difference. Like when you have it off, it just sounds like a speaker, and the sound is coming from the speaker. When you press spatial audio, all of a sudden, you're enveloped in the actual audio that you're listening to. And it's crazy how they can turn this effect on and off and make it sound as though the music is coming from a much bigger sound source than something this small. And it's got great battery life, up to 10 hours of listening experience. No, 12-hour playtime. I actually haven't gotten close to testing it because who listens for that long? No one does. No one listens for 12 hours, but if you wanted to, you could take it up to 12 hours. It's pretty lightweight, and it's got some controls on the top, so you can control the play and stop of your music, the volume, of course. You can adjust the bass if you want, and it's really easy to connect to your phone. It works super reliably. This thing is $200, which I think is pretty on par for high-quality speakers of this size, although it just went on sale on Amazon for $150 during the Prime days, the Prime deals. So I think that you'll probably be able to get this thing for around $150 pretty regularly if you just watch out for it. This is one of the best portable speakers that I've used, and probably my favorite one that exists right now. Like, it sounds terrific. Like, it's not quite as good as a HomePod, but it's in the same realm as a HomePod. So it sounds very good, but not quite as beautiful as the original HomePod. Of course, the new HomePod doesn't even sound as beautiful as the original HomePod. But it sounds really good, especially for what you'll be using this for, right? Like, you're just carrying around, you're tailgating, you're at the beach or something. You don't need to have a $60,000 record player there. You just want something that is going to be reliable, that's waterproof, that sounds really good, and this is it. I kind of wish it had a little more bass. That's the one thing that I would probably change about the speaker if I were the product manager on this, is a lot of the portable speakers have a ton of thunder. I would say this sounds much more balanced. Like, I think this actually sounds, in many instances, like if you listen to classical music, this actually might sound better. But when you're outside and you're far away from the speaker, that bass drops off really fast. So I think it could probably make do with some more bass, and that would give it a little bit more throwing power. What else can I say about this?
What colors does it come in?
That's a great question. And for that question, I'll go back to the browser mode, and I'll show you. It comes in this gunmetal gray. It's like a space gray almost. It comes in, they call this polar gray. It comes in lunar blue, which reminds me of like the blue color for the iPad that they have. And then it comes in aurora green. You know what?
I didn't even know it came in those colors.
I think these colors might be new.
Oh.
Due to the overwhelming demand, auras of aurora green and lunar blue will be shipped out before July 9th at the latest. So, and I was looking at the reviews on Amazon for this thing. The reviews are killer. I mean, this thing's $200. People are buying it. It's got 492 ratings, a 4.7 rating, 4.7 star rating on Amazon. So people are really loving this speaker. And like I said, this has become my go-to travel speaker. I take this out on my back porch whenever we eat dinner on my back porch. I take this out there so we can listen to music back there. So far, I really like it a lot. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is it supports LDAC. So it supports the higher bitrate codec the Bluetooth codec for music. So if your phone supports LDAC, iPhones don't. So if you have an iPhone, you don't benefit from that. But if you have an Android phone or something, you'll actually get much better fidelity from this speaker than other portable speakers because it supports that. I wish iPhone supported that. I don't know why it doesn't. That's a huge omission. It drives me crazy. But but it still sounds good regardless. And I'm probably going to make a video on my YouTube channel about this as well because it's been such a great product so far. And it just feels great in the hand. I love like the little feet that they put on the bottom. Like when you set it down, even though it's really heavy, it feels like it's just solid. It sits down, but it doesn't make like a loud bang or anything. So it just feels really well considered, like most of Anker's products. You know, I use a bunch of their products, and they've got a very good industrial design team, I have to say. Like, they really think their stuff through, which is why they're doing so well on Amazon, I think, because their products are actually really good. So there you go. Happy to give this a very high recommendation if you're looking for a portable speaker. If $200 is too expensive for you, like I said, just wait it out. My guess is it will drop down to like $150, $160 at a certain point. It just got released, so you know they're gonna rake in all that sweet revenue while it's brand new. But they've already had one big sale on it for Amazon Prime Days. So
yeah, we just missed it. I remember when this came out, I was like, "Wow, that thing looks awesome!" And it, you know, the possibility of the spatial audio. I was wondering, you're saying it's worth it, huh? It sounds really good.
It definitely makes a difference. Like it like I said, it when you turn it on, it feels like the sound is coming from a much larger sound source, and it's more enveloping. So I don't know what kind of digital processing they're doing. It's kind of crazy to me that they could even do this. So yeah, it definitely makes a big difference. Like I don't even know why you would turn it off. It sounds so much better when you leave it on. Why would you ever turn it off? Like there's a button on the top to turn it off. I'm like, why would you do that? There's no reason to turn it off. It sounds so much better.
You don't want your mind blown just right now.
You're not ready for the power. You're not ready for the envelope of power. That might be what it is. How does it sound with Give 'Em the Love? Well, stay tuned. I might let you know on my YouTube channel. It's still someone's saying it's still $159.99 on Amazon. I don't know how that happens because I'm seeing $199.
I'm seeing $199.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Maybe Amazon is like, oh, this guy seems like he might be in the market for portable speakers because they do that, right? Like the price that I see may not be the price that you see. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
So T4Runner is saying that it's still $159.99. Well, shoot, dude, if you're interested, I would buy one. Try it out. I mean,
what's the name of this one? This is the X600, right?
Yeah.
So I saw something that looked similar to it. It's called the Anker Soundcore Mini Super Portable Bluetooth.
Oh, wait a
X600.
second.
So there it is. What? Oh, that's a bundle list price. A bundle price. What does it come with?
Well, wait a second. I just found the one that is $159.99. How does that work?
$59. See, I see a $169. Good grief.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. Yeah, so it's renewed. Okay.
Oh.
That's why. So it's probably one that somebody returned, would be my guess. Yeah, there you go. I was wondering why there's two listings for this, but it's all the way at the very end. But that's probably another option for you if it has the same warranty or if you don't care about the warranty. So, the other thing I wanted to mention is if you're curious about like wattage, it's 50 watts. So it's a pretty powerful speaker for the size that it is. All right. That's it. That's all the CoolCast we have for you guys this week, but the party continues. We're kind of on Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
Crank it up, dude. I can't hear the music.
Lewis is on Twitter. He's at Lewis Wallace. Griffin, I saw you on Twitter. I saw you there.
Oh,
you're not using it, but I saw that
spotted.
you liked something. So is Griffin making a comeback on Twitter? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. We'll keep talking about it. Maybe he'll make his
so lonely over on Mastodon.
He'll make his debut back on Twitter. If you're wondering about any of these products, again, I will make sure that I put the links to everything in the show notes so that you guys can check this stuff out. But that's it. That's all the CoolCast we have for you guys this week. But new episodes of the CoolCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening and hanging out live. And we will see you guys. There it is. There's the music that you were asking for, Lewis. Next time. You like it loud. I know that. If you want, I can put it on the X600. Turn it up to full. turn on spatial audio. In fact, maybe if you listen to the podcast on the X600 in spatial audio mode, you'll feel like you're on the podcast. That'd be pretty cool.
Don't scare people.
All right, everyone. I'm hurtling towards the end stream button as we speak. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, y'all.